So, been a while since I had a day off since I've checked in. So with that being said, I wanted to go through and take a look at some of this new stuff that we got. Um, it's been a while, so I'm gonna go over some of these generals too. So new generals, you got the new duty officer, which if you had Maurice built, you're probably better just sticking with him. The new guy is good if it's 0 stars, one versus the other. The new guy is better. However, if you've got Maurice with some stars on him, then I would say stick with Maurice. That's what I'm doing. Some of the changes I've made since these new generals came out, I made this guy my assistant over Alessandra with Ludwig, and it seems it's better. I switched from Zhao as my assistant Cav, which has been my assistant Cav for forever. Dude, one of the people that plays the game on my team also as a coworker. I'm just trying to get a quick video in. We're going to go see if we can go make some money on some high-end comics this afternoon. So anyway, Marco Polo March sized the attack. With all that being said, I looked at the numbers and he was considerably better than Zhao, and that's wasn't even including the Covenant. So for me, this was a no-brainer. Marco Polo, now my assistant, and I noticed a significant difference. Blanche, I don't have Blanche. And Maurice, I watched a video, and this is my take on Maurice, is his main strength is as a lead general. He doesn't stack up very well as an assistant. So with that being said, my thought with him is probably going to be a main for reinforcement, as he is better than Moo. So that's where I'm at with that. I do think he's really good. I don't think, he's not a game changer, and I'm pretty sure that there's going to be a general better than him. And as far as what you get, I think I'm going to stick with my main with John Hinyati and Gunther as my main rally. But there may be a spot for Maurice. And you know what? Maybe I finally build a separate siege, small siege, and a rain. So we'll see on that. Let me join some of these real quick. I don't want to miss out on too much. This new pack that they're selling us for the auto join, for me, has been fantastic. It allows you to grow. You don't necessarily have to be in the game. You just have to have it open. And then you do get some free bonuses when you're not online until you're offline. Chances are gone. So I do like that very, very much. The new Archer, I kind of was expecting her to be better than what she is. She's not horrible by any means. But you have to look at it as, is it a main? Is it a assistant? And I'll just look at her real quick. Archer Tech 45. I'll look as an assistant, because for most people, it's going to be an assistant type situation. Because even bigger keeps, I've noticed, are not going crazy to ascend new generals. And rightfully so, because it becomes way too expensive. 30 and 30. Now, look at the Covenant. I don't necessarily always like to include that in, but 65, 75, 85. HP, training speed, reinforcing, in rally. So, I mean, I'll add 15% because I'm not going to include the reinforcing. Not really. I mean, as assistant, 115, 85, 85-ish, roundabout. I mean, anymore, it's just a game of, like, being somewhat relative, for me anyway. I mean, I'm not taking the time anymore to go too crazy and looking at generals. When they come out, they're slightly better than the last, latest, and greatest. Let's look at her ascension. 5%, 10%. So, I mean, as an assistant, we're talking 115 attack, 85 HP, 85 defense. The value of these new generals is what their general attributes start off at. So, with that being said, she might be really, really solid. I'm going to look and compare here real quick. 20% defense and HP, 20. She's going to be solid for sure. March size, 8%. It's not huge considering I didn't see any in her kit aside from there. So let's look 115, 120, 140, 160, 160, 10, 120, 135, 105, 120. So 160, 135, 120. And then let's just take a look at your... let's take a look and see how she matches up with Ragnar. I think that's... because he's considered the best, she's considered the best. 124 leadership on him, 135 attack. So at the end of the day, I think if you have Ragnar, that's the way to go. If you have, let's see, before Ragnar, I think Agrippa was probably the best archer general in the game. Let's see what his stats were at. His stats were at 117 and 120. So she's significantly better than Agrippa, but only as a main because the attributes won't count as an assistant. So as a main, she's better than Agrippa, but I've got Ragnar completely built up. So for me, she would have to be an assistant, and I don't think she matches up well enough. And maybe. But I'm not going to take the time to go through all that. At the end of the day, she's solid. She's not the best in the game by any means, but she is really, really solid. And I believe she works everywhere. So that's a bonus. Now, let's see if I covered everyone. I feel like I have covered everyone pretty well. I did change to the new ground general. I think he's really, really good as an assistant. And he'd probably be really good as a main, too. But Miltiades is now my assistant. And Marco Polo is my assistant at the time. But I am very seriously considering making him my main, if that's possible. So right now I'm just hanging on to runes. Maurice... I watched a video and they have him listed as the highest attack when everything's all done on him. Highest attack in the game. I do think I'll use him to either finish off a small siege march or I'll use him on a reinforce, and maybe most likely a reinforce because for small siege, all those percentage buffs really won't mean much. So I think I am going to make him a reinforcing general. Now, jumping into this real quick, I'm not an expert on this, and I know videos have come out about this, but I just wanted to touch base. For me and how I play, I'm more defensive, so of course the guerrilla tactics is really appealing to me because of the HP debuff that you get for owning it, and then this one here has it as well for owning it, some debuff. So for me, I'm working those two. And I do actually use this one over the horse one for my for when I'm killing bosses, just because the first one has a march size. So when you get to level 3, you get added march size. Again, extra buffs that Evony's added. Smart move on their part. I do think that after the Elder Dragon has been achieved by some of our big players, I do think that K50 is probably going to come out shortly after that. With that, I think the attacks are going to be really, really high. But also, I do think that they're going to add another subsidy slot, just so people can stay close, can still be somewhat of an even playing field. I think that will happen. This new event at the wall, really, really nice. You get free stuff every day, right? So is that. Plus, you get a lot of resources and speed ups as well. So like, this is a great event, especially because a lot of us aren't spending as much. So this is a nice little add-on to get some free stuff. It might get you to the next upgrade. Super helpful. So with this being said, there's a lot of new dynamics. We're going to have to... Defensively, it's going to be a crapshoot for a while, because we're not going to know what it's going to look like until it happens. I think the Elder Dragon is going to push a lot of players to 5,000 buffs. The players that do get it. It's a concept that is in KOA, which used to play that game as well. And it does make that dragon by far the strongest in that game anyway. So we're going to see what it's going to do with the archer attacks. In a way, I feel like that move and that choice is made to neutralize traps because of the massive attack. So we're just going to see what happens. And of course, the march size will be pushed. So I think it is a way for Evony to kind of cut the non-coiners more out of the picture by providing a concept that's going to allow traps to be hurt very badly. I think even with the solo, but with the rally, it could be a one and done. So we'll see how that plays out. And I'm going to post some more videos throughout the day. My coworker is on his way back to the room here. So I do have some stuff that I am going to end up doing today. Otherwise, I just post videos for the next hour and have it be done with. But I want to get more in depth with the generals, your attack, some ideas that have been kicking around in my head for the past several weeks, and just several things that have changed since the last time I posted a video. And as I go deeper and deeper into learning more about the game, I do come up with more stuff. So I'm hoping that I'll always have enough material to keep making videos and keep helping players get stronger. One development that has changed for me is I'm getting to a point where a lot of the things in the game aren't important to me the way they used to be. And the events that I will really go after, and it's depending on team growth as well. Shalons and All-Stars is pretty much where it's at. SVS is great, but eventually you get to a point where, like, we're ranked 4 in, I think it's major. So there's, the top 3 teams, and then, so I guess we're in the top 10 in SVS. But with that being said, a lot of that's because I scored a lot of points. I think it was like 20 billion or something like that. I scored a lot of points in an SVS. It ended up being about 300 million negative just because they canceled the last rally they had set on me. And they never went after me again. So with that being said, We have not dropped out of 4th, even though I think we've lost like 3 out of 5, or maybe 4 out of 5. But we're still ranked there. And I don't feel that we're really going to get... We could maybe get into 3rd there, but I don't think we're going to beat any of the teams higher than 3rd. Or maybe 2nd. But when you're talking RSP, VIG, NEF, those guys, beating them in an SVS would be extremely difficult. So eventually you just cap out on SVS as far as what you're hoping to accomplish. And the whole bragging rights thing wears off pretty quick. And you're like, what's the point? And I mean, yeah, maybe if I was actively posting videos about it, which I didn't get hit at once. I got one solo. That was kind of a weird solo, but I got one solo hit and that was it. So, and then I got caught in the temple by Bob Destroyer, and he lived up to his name. So, yeah, things change in the game as you grow, and individually the things that are important to you. So, anyway, there will be more to come today. I just wanted to get one video out and let everyone know that I do got some good stuff coming up, some good stuff, and I'll talk to you soon.